not everyone can comment, which is a great point, right?
Wow,
for smaller scopes, I would say comments are more important because it requires more effort. So that's a fabulous point. You know, I'm always trying to let people know if they can't get in and comment on my scope that, you know, one quick tip is if you go in and out quickly, see, that was a good enough tip that Casey's getting out his pen and paper and he's writing that down.
Yes, I'm writing it down because if we can figure out and determine those broadcasts that have 100 or more people so the comments are locked away, we can put more weight on the hearts and put more weight on the shares, right? So that's maybe that might be what we will. Let me list that out.
Yeah. And, you know, you also run up against, along that same line, you also run up against the 500 count, you know, limit.
Right.
So lots of times people don't understand that. They'll be tapping away throughout the course of your scope and not really realizing that unless they leave and come back, that heart count is going to stop at 500, which is about a minute and a half. If you're tapping, you know, fast, you have about a minute and a half to leave 500 hearts. So that is also, you know, a measuring kind of a, you know, something to think about as you're trying to build out the algorithm for true engagement.
And that's the thing, we're always trying to improve this to better this. And also the information that we get, you know, the information we get from Periscope and the information we get from Twitter, you know, it's taking all that and making sure it's accurate, because also Periscope doesn't always give accurate information, and that's just because they're trying to do as much as they can as possible. Well, we're in the same boat. We're just trying to take the information and the things that we are definite about, like, you know, oftentimes, guys, hearts may not always show up the right way for you. The things that we can definitely track are the comments and the length of time someone's at a broadcast. And a replay. So because those are definitive aspects that we can really gauge, that's why we've given weight to them. However, that being said, you know, we still want to give weight to. Oh, hold on, sorry. Someone just.
I'm like looking for my phone, and it's, you know, how many people do this? You're looking for your phone when you hear somebody else's ring.
I know.
Mine's sitting right in front of me. I'm using it to Periscope, and I'm still like looking for it. I'm like, where's my phone?
That's so funny. Yeah, sorry. I think someone was just trying to call, but what I was saying was that because the hearts are oftentimes, the data isn't presented to us in 100% clarity, that's why we haven't given that much weight to it. However, that being said, I think what we're going to do, I love that suggestion by Ray. Ray, that was awesome. And
golden.
So that one, and then, you know, what you said, Kim, we're trying to gauge, you know, when people leave and come back in. And when they do that, you know, the idea is that we want to still be able to track those hearts too, for those moments where people leave, they come back in, and then we start it up again. The hearts start up again. So that's the goal. You know, obviously, you know, we're always changing. In the last day, you probably have seen now there's different features in there right now. You can, you know, tweet your commenters and stuff. I mean, there's definitely a lot of change and growth going on. You know, even this week, you're going to see a lot of new things that we're rolling in for free to everybody. I mean, it's just like, these are the features that we just want to give everyone. So.
Well, one of the biggest features that I love, and I think you've already implemented this, is the ability to go back and, of course, not only what I think that is my favorite feature. I'll just roll this out. And this is, again, my opinion. But the numbers are great. But, you know, one of the things I've loved about Catch is catch.me is the ability to go back and look at those comments. But you guys have taken it a step further. And this is my favorite part, is that you can see the comments from one person. And you can follow the context of their comments a little bit better than if you're like searching through 500 comments, and, you know, in other words, you categorize and lump them all together based on, you know, that individual, which to me is invaluable. When you have, as a scoper, and you have a large community coming into your scopes, and there's literally hundreds of comments, it can be very hard to track that conversation or the context of the conversation if you're trying to weave through all of those comments. So for me, I'm with Ray. I love the comments. I think that's my most valuable metric, because it gives me an opportunity to take those conversations. If I didn't get to that person, for example, or, sometimes, again, you can't answer all the questions. They scroll so quickly. I can go back after the fact and, connect with those people over on Twitter. And I think you've already made that connection from Twitter to the back end as well. So that's invaluable for me. I just love that. That's my favorite feature.
Well, now, you can go back to Twitter from our dashboard, but also now you can tweet too. So you can tweet directly to the person from our dashboard. So,
did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And then that went in last night. So if you go in there, Kim, you'll see that you can tweet, which we were planning. All these things we opened up. And then we were like, okay, we open up, we have a feature set, and then we knew the growth that we wanted to add into it as we go. So you're going to see new stuff, as I said, every day. So yeah, you can tweet right from inside of there to your commenters, to the people that have the most heart. So oftentimes what I do is I go in and say, hey, you sent the most comments. Thank you so much. Kim, whoever it is, you can tweet them directly.
Well, let me ask you another question. And I know you've got a lot of things coming, some of which I think as marketers, guys, I just want to give you a little peek into some of the things that are coming. And correct me if I'm off base, but one of the things that has been a huge problem for us as marketers is how do we repurpose all this content we're creating, right?
Right.
And how can we quickly take that same piece of content and, leverage it on YouTube or on our Facebook profile or, our Facebook fan page, snip it down into where it's, a way that you can leverage it on maybe Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah.
And I know, and I don't know that Casey's going to build out all of those functionality to where, like you could snip and that kind of stuff. But one of the cool things that I think is coming is the ability to upload directly from the dashboard to YouTube. Now, how many people is super excited about that opportunity?
Yeah, so I don't know if they know, but what we do, guys, is we take those videos, your broadcasts, and we host them and house them inside of Full Scope, so you can kind of see them right inside there, and then you can download those videos too. But the next step for us is that we're going to allow you to just add those videos directly into YouTube right from the dashboard.
See this face?
What is that? Oh, I see that. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, this is a good face. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
It takes that extra step.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're hosting your videos so that you can take those, repurpose them already. You can already download them. You don't have to go back into your phone to get those videos. They're housed inside our platform, and you can download those. And we're going to be adding, we're trying to go into a different direction with all that. We have some cool ideas, whether we get those made. Right now we're kind of a small, I have a small team on this right now. I was considering adding more teams to different aspects of the software and project as we grow. So, that's kind of the next step. And when we start doing that, you'll see a lot more change, a lot more additions as well from there. But yeah, having call to action in the video is something we want to add. There's all sorts of stuff.
I know. And that's another whole thing that is just super awesome. Right now we have the capability. So let me paint the bigger picture here of the implications of what Casey's just said. Right now we can save our videos to our phones, right? I mean, we all know that, but it takes up space on our phones. And then what do? How do we get them to YouTube? We either upload them from YouTube or, in some cases, because I edit some of mine a little bit to, just focusing on the content, I'll upload them from my phone to Dropbox, and then you have to download them. And it can be a lot of, little bitty steps. And then you have, the capability of leveraging another tool called Catch, to where you can say, okay, I'm going to catch my videos over there, and then I'll download them. You still got the same process. You have to download them, upload them somewhere else. So what we're talking about is the ability to go into a similar platform in some senses, except they have, Casey's program or platform has full analytics. It's not just a place that catches your videos. And then in the near future, you'll have the ability literally to tap a button that says upload to YouTube versus downloading, editing, or some of the other things that we've had to do in the past. There's a little rumor that there might actually be, some branded skins in the near future. Shh, don't tell anybody. And
that's
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
And as a marketer, I'm just saying it's a little rumor. I don't know. Don't hold me to any of this, and don't hold Casey to it. There's just a lot of cool things being tossed around. And as marketers, it'll be an interesting platform for us to use. I encourage you to sign up for it. It's, like I say, it's totally free at this point. It's in beta. You will get a ton of immense value just from the numbers. And I think it'll be really enlightening to you to see what your numbers are. I mean, I had no clue. I didn't know that, my replay viewers were sticking with me much longer than, people that were live on the app, for example. So many of the things that you just don't know are now at your fingertips. And it helps you make better marketing decisions, market smarter. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. And so for those who have been asking, is it free? Yes, it is free. And it is free. We're going to add a few more features. There is going to be kind of a premium level to this, and we're going to be working on that very soon here. But I just felt like the main thing was to give you a full analytics set and some really great things that you can use right now. In the future, we are going to have, there's going to be options of list building as well, integration with your CRM or autoresponder, SMS. There's all these different aspects. We actually have a CRM system that we've already built that we might add to it, where that means and this gets really dorky in marketing, and I'm sorry about that, but this, where campaigns can actually go out to those who you list build with using something like this. So right now there are great call to action aspects to it, where you can obviously tweet directly to your people, but there is going to be another level where we do autoresponder integration and things like that, which we're going to be working on very soon.
Which will be awesome. I long said that, all of these tools, Blab has evolved very quickly, Periscope, Meerkat, I think they're all evolving, and I don't think the wheels have even been built. So I think that Casey's platform is some of the wheels that we need as marketers. You definitely want to go check it out. It's bit.ly/full scope for those of you who are on Periscope and can't see the link being dropped in. bit.ly/full scope. And the name of it obviously is Full Scope. It's an analytics package for Periscope with a lot of cool marketing elements that are going to be coming in the near future. Yeah. In fact, just this week, I think Casey just said there's going to be some amazing things rolling out. So I thought I'd open up the seat here and let somebody that has some questions come on in. What do you think, Casey?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I should unlock mine too, or you want to?
I just unlocked mine. Let's see if we can get a couple of people in and see if they have a question or two. So Craig, come on in and ask a question.
Oh, Craig McIntosh. Hi, Craig. How's it going? I know.
And Bonnie Frank.
Oh, Bonnie.
So Craig, you go first. You know Bonnie? You know Craig?
I think I know both of these names. Yes, well, I definitely know Craig, but Bonnie, do I know you too?
I've been on your Periscope broadcasts.
That's how I know.
Well, Bonnie, technically, even though I clicked on Craig first, he's not here yet. So Bonnie, you go for it. What do you got? What do you got for us?
So I want to say thank you, first of all, for this incredible tool. And I know everybody here is excited. I had signed up yesterday after your Periscope, Casey, and but I fell asleep before I could do a scope. So I did one this morning, and it not only, and this is good for people to know, it not only captured the one that I did this morning on the metrics, it also captured the other 3 that were live in replay. So just doing, and I wasn't expecting that. So just from doing the one scope this morning after signing up, because I already had scopes that were still live and replay within that 24-hour limit, it captured the metrics for those scopes too. So I had 4 at once. And the information, I mean, Kim, you're right. So I've already used it. I've already used the information that I got this morning. And my entire business is built off of Periscope and Blab. That's it. All of my customers come from there. So this is beyond helpful, but it would be helpful for anybody. And it's super easy to use, very easy to read. So thank you.
Yeah. The link again. I have several people asking for the link. It's bit.ly/full scope, guys. Thank you. All right. So Craig, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for asking your questions and giving your feedback. Bonnie, thanks for popping in.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, that was great information. The 24-hour thing. I forgot about that. Yeah, you start one, but it'll grab all the previous 24 hours.
Yeah, I was really, really happy for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Craig, what you got for us? You got a question?
Yeah, come on in, Casey. I tell you, if anybody doesn't know Casey is pure awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Right? Like, sorry, no, come on. We go back a few years. You and I have had conversations on email and that. Awesome guy. So to see you coming on, it was just like a no-brainer. I had to be here. Now, how are we going to utilize this? Can I ask in relation to webinars?
Okay, that's a great question because I have a webinar platform, Easy Webinar. So a lot of people have been asking, Casey, are you going to somehow integrate this into webinars? I have a vision for it. I'd like to do that. We're fleshing that out right now. We're really trying to gain an idea of how that excuse me, that integration is going to work. Part of me thinks that sorry, I'm battling a cold, by the way, with how busy I've been. But part of me thinks that we're going to have the ability to use maybe Periscope as a broadcasting tool, possibly, or Blab. We're still trying to figure all this out. But part of me was also thinking that it could be on the back end where you could serve up a webinar in a campaign after you use Periscope and list build. Because what I found is Periscope is great for list building. I haven't really used it to sell much. It's just for list building. I'm sure I could use Blab or Periscope to sell, but I still prefer kind of webinars, because I can share my screen and kind of go a little deeper into all of that. But so the idea, I think, is that if we can somehow integrate it into a marketing system, which actually you could do right now if you really wanted to, but at the same time, we'll look at how we can integrate it on a kind of an API level. As well as a CRM level too, but we have to really plan that out.
I would like to see the content that you were talking about that's coming into the new free platform. You said we're going to be able to publish that content to YouTube, right? Now I could see it then being an automatic feed from YouTube straight into your webinar system. Right, with just a click of a button, you can say, turn this into turn this Blab or this Periscope into a webinar.
You might want to write that down, Casey.
Yeah, I know. So if you're talking about, are you talking about an automated webinar then?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is definitely possible.
I have a Blab. Let's say you and I have a Blab session, right? And then right after the Blab, I get the feed. Right, I'm getting the voice file, which I can turn into a podcast straight away. I'm already doing that. I'm firing my blabs off the podcast. Then you can take the video, fire it off through your new platform, of course, where we can see the statistics and all that.
Yeah.
Now from there, you're saying we're going to be able to publish that straight to our YouTube channel. Wouldn't it be great if we also have the facility in there to send it to our webinar platform, which is, of course, the one that I've bought into, and of course is still the #1 webinar platform, Easy Webinar, if nobody's got it yet. And I would like to see that automated.
We got to plug Casey, don't we? Right?
I would like to see that. I would like to see that.
Trust me.
Yeah, no, he's not paid. No, he hasn't paid me. Don't worry, I pay him. The thing is, I would like to see that automated straight into an automatic webinar.
You know what?
Answering the questions.
That's a fabulous idea first off, for an automated webinar. You know, some of the things that we've been thinking about as well is potentially a syndication element of this, where you can start one and it will send it all, you know, a live broadcast into maybe YouTube Live, so you could start a live webinar from your Periscope. And, you know, there are these elements that we're playing with. We've definitely have some good ideas, but you know, this is definitely where the geek comes out, where you start thinking about all these different cool little ways you can do this stuff. So I hear you. I completely hear you.
Well, you've got my details. You got my details if you want to continue this conversation. You've already got my details in your system. You can always hit me up, and I got a few other little brain twigs that might stimulate some other areas of interest. So anyway, I'm going to jump out and let somebody else who's probably waiting on the sidelines jump in. But cheers, anyway, guys. Looking forward.
Right. Loved your thoughts.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, John, well, welcome first, and what you got going on, and what questions you got?
Well, Kim, hopefully you can hear me. And,
I can, yes.
And I saw you on Digital Marketers Office Hours, and I really hadn't even heard of Periscope before that. Well, I guess I had heard the name, but didn't know anything about it. And so I've watched a couple of your Periscopes, but in my world, I have two businesses. I'm in the real estate industry, and I'm also in the travel business. And I'm just wondering if you can have two Periscopes, because it doesn't seem like I could set that up on my phone. That's basically my first question. I don't know what I don't know yet.
Well, you can have two Periscopes. You know, you could have one that's dedicated to your real estate business and one that's dedicated to your Twitter business. I would recommend, you currently have two Twitter accounts, or do you just have one Twitter account?
No, I got two Twitter accounts.
Then all you'd have to do is connect them to your Twitter account, two accounts. And the neat part is, you know, you can choose as you log in what one you want to log in Periscope from.
So do you start in your Twitter account and then turn Periscope on?
Yes. So you would set, and you can switch back and forth. It's very easy. It literally asks you, you know, you log out, it asks you how you want to log in. And once you've logged in with both of those accounts, then they're both there. And it's literally a click of the button.
Okay.
So that's absolutely, you could do that. You know, especially if those are two very different audiences, you know, real estate and then travel is obviously two different ideal clients. So you might want to do that. You know, you could bring it in under you as a personal brand too, and represent, you know, just let people know in the scope title, it's going to be real estate focused or it's going to be travel focused. But if you've already got them separate, then it's a easy fix. You could just leverage both of your Twitter accounts and just sign into Periscope using the one that you want to scope from.
Okay. I guess I was doing it backwards. I was trying to go into Periscope and figure out a way to switch between the two, and couldn't figure it out. So start with Twitter, and then.
Well, basically what you do is log out of both first. And then, you know, when you go into Periscope, it'll ask you to, you know, log in, and then you can log into your Twitter account, whichever one you want to scope from.
Okay.
But once you've connected Twitter and Periscope once, both of them will be an option for you.
All right.
And if you have any questions, tweet me. I'll try to help you.
All right, great. Well, I'll jump off and let somebody else ask some other questions. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you. I'm glad I could help. Hey, Butch, how are you?
I'm great, Kim. Thanks for letting me sit. This is my first blab session, believe it or not, and I'm scheduled to host one here in a couple of weeks. So I'm popping in on several. But Casey mentioned something about using Periscope as a list building tool. As someone who is both new to scope and obviously working on list building as a speaker, sales trainer, author, and so forth, expound on that a little bit, Casey, if you will, on how you are using that platform for list building.
Sure, and Kim is an expert at this too. So, but the idea is that, you know, building your list, your email list, is probably the most important element as a marketer. You know, and it's because it's the one area where, you know, you can always go back and market to it. You know,
sure.
Your fans and people following you they carry a certain weight, but the larger weight in my impression is that you get them onto your list. That's a commitment level that's even greater. And as such, it's kind of important as people who are building business to build your list. So what I would suggest is, when you're doing Periscope, just like any content creation, you provide good value. And Kim does this every single day on her scopes like clockwork. And once you provide a decent amount of value, you can also, at the end of, say, your Periscopes, or at some point during your Periscopes, you can have call to action. And a call to action can be signing up to a free gift or a free webinar. That is what a call to action is. And I do that every single day. I drive people from my broadcasts right into two things. Sorry, I think my wife had to come in here. Also, I have to get going because I'm going to have a meeting soon. But let me finish this thought very quickly if I can. I send people into a free video course as well as a free webinar. Those are two areas that I send people to. So I send people into an automated webinar that's continuing to run continuously. And then also, as I said, a free 7-day video series as well. And so it's just a call to action. It just gives them, it's like you're doing your audience a disservice if you don't have more content for them to consume. So you want to send them somewhere. And oftentimes I send them to a landing page instead of, say, just my website. Because my website, there's so many different things they could do on it. I want to send them into something that they can, like, hey, here's something definitive. I come in, I learn about webinars. Or here's a PDF all about video, equipment and things like that. So that's how I do it. But
do you use a shortened URL that's easy for people to remember on a scope or something of that nature, like Kim was using the bit.ly earlier?
Yeah. Exactly. You should try to come up with a nice short link, because it's difficult with Periscope. Obviously, you can type it in, but there's no clickability in there. So having something simple that someone can remember or take a screenshot of and go back to, I think is really important. Or something memorable, like I have a course called a webinar course, and I have webinarminicourse.com that drives to that course. So I created a URL called Webinar Mini Course, and that's kind of memorable. You think about, okay, well, what is it? It's a webinar, it's a mini course. Okay, so it's all put together. So it makes it easy in that regard. But that's exactly what I tend to do in my scopes. I know Kim does that, and many other people do it as well. But Kim, if you have a thought on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're tight on time, so if you just pop out whenever you need to, Casey.
Okay.
But specifically, Butch, a couple of things. Casey's exactly right. You can share your free offers routinely. It makes it easier, since it is basically just verbiage, us verbally telling people. It's not like it's a clickable link. So we have to make it easy for them to get there, So I use a shortener almost always. Bitly is a great one because people recognize it. It's trusted. And, unless it's something that is easy for them to remember. So like I have, for my ebook, my Periscope ebook, my Jumpstart Guide, it's Perischool, PERI school.training. That's very easy for people to remember. And, but lots of times if it's just things like what we're doing today with Casey, I'll use bit.ly /full scope. And just reference that through, maybe once, sometimes twice, depending on it. Sometimes people will ask. The neat part is your community steps up and helps you with that. So, if you reference it, then somebody will type it in for you. People can take screenshots. You can let people know they can take a screenshot so that they can pay attention, go back to it later and have a visual of it. But I think the key is to make it easy for people to get to your free offers. Let them know what's in it for them. And it's amazing how many people will take you up on it. It's probably, it's the fastest. I think I got 180 opt-ins in like 10 minutes one time. I actually measured it, just so I could tell people that's how effective it's been for me.
Great.
And I know Casey's had similar success. I know other people, Shalene Johnson talks about how many opt-ins she's got to her list. But it has to be a goal set. It has to be one of your goals going in. You let people know that you have that.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. I'll let somebody else take the seat, but thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Well, it was great. Thank you for coming in. I think I have to go because I do have a call, and I guess I have to print something for my wife.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Casey. But Megan, if you have a question for me, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I was hoping to ask Casey, but I understand he has to get going.
Okay. I'm here for you, Megan. What can I do for you?
Thank you. So when I first signed up to Periscope, I did it through my phone number instead of a Twitter account because I didn't have one. And so I just, while you've been blabbing, I went and signed up, and I later opened a Twitter account, but they're not connected. And I've contacted Periscope, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to connect them or not. But my question is, for people who have opened their accounts with phone number instead of Twitter, are they going to be able to use the analytics?
Well, so yeah, that's a very, very good question.
Very good question.
And when you got in there, did you sign up with Twitter and you weren't able to sign up? Or
I did sign up for a Twitter account with my same username, which is the same as what that's what it's showing up right now. But it's not connected.
Okay.
You know what? Let me look into that. I'm going to write that down because I want to know. That's a terrific question, and because we go to Twitter to get the information from Periscope, so I'm interested to know exactly how that data is coming from them to you, and if it's from Twitter, because Twitter owns Periscope, so often that data comes through that way. So let me find out for sure. It could be that all you have to do is sign up, and Periscope might recognize, oh, this is your Twitter, and then they will link it up that way. But let me find out for sure, and you can send me a direct message on Twitter if you want to. Just to let me know or tweet me to remind me, but I'm gonna mention it in a Skype group with my guys for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you. Thank you, Casey. Now go take your call. And if there's anybody who has any last minute questions, come on in. And I got about 2 minutes and we'll wind this up. So Casey, seriously, go do what you need to do.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kim, so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody, you are amazing. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Casey. Take care. All right. Well, we have an open seat, but I don't see anybody popping on in. So I think we probably got it all taken care of. Guys, appreciate you for spending a little bit of your time with us. And we will see you next week, same time. We're going to talk visual content next week. So take care, guys. God bless.